over.
Do
Ba-da-da.
Dang it, now I gotta go listen to it.
Yep, you can do that.
I'm confused. Anyways, how is everyone this evening?
I'm okay. A little tired. Mentally stressed.
There we go, everyone has a name.
Thank you.
Everyone has a name, what race they are, and even the goat.
Thank you.
Well, your name disappeared on my screen for yours, Boo.
I also meant race.
Okay. Oh no, there's just the zoomed out part. Okay.
Dragonborn, Tiefling. I'm gonna keep calling you Tengu until it's corrected in character.
Okay.
Half elf. Human.
We have a human?
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Be thankful for the humans.
Maybe.
They shall consume your souls.
No.
I haven't consumed mine yet. Would we have been coming from the same kingdom?
So, where you guys are going to be starting out, and I am going to get the map out for you.
Awesome.
Right here.
Thank you.
So, as
Why
you
does the
can see,
Kenku not have the ability to fly?
because it's cursed.
Free.
Where you're going to be starting out, you guys, is Oakengard,
Guard.
which is right on the edge of the Badlands. Oakengard, for very brief history, for those who are from the area, is basically there to watch over the Badlands, because sometimes bad things come out of the Badlands. That's generally why it's there. They keep watch over that site just in case, like, there are invaders or monsters. But it's gotten pretty lax over the years because not much has come out of there. I guess my question is, what brings you all to Oakengard? And I will start with anyone.
Who's anyone?
Well, Bird was, there are ruins scattered around here, if I remember right, including in the Badlands.
Oh, wait. Let me clarify this. Ghost, Silver, Boo,
Yeah?
your characters are starting off in Oakengard. What brought you there to Oakengard? Who wants to go first?
Thank you.
I believe Cleric was told to go there in order to meet up with the group that was going to take them to the Dwarven ruins after she had discovered the key
Okay.
or mysterious item.
Alright. So, to build on that, you had, basically had a pen pal in the form of a bird. And they only referred to themselves as Georgie. Alright? Now,
Georgie.
when Georgie got in contact with you, you guys exchanged letters. And he expressed an interest in exploring Dwarven ruins that were somewhere up in the north, as he expressed that he was from the very south. You're not sure how south, but from the way he described the lands when you inquired, was that it was a place with hardly any water, with lots of sand, and not a lot of foliage. And you've never heard of such a place before. So, coming to this conclusion, you figure if Georgie was going to be making this trek, and he said that he was going to be making this trek with a group of people, that Oakengard would be the place to meet him, as you don't know anything past the Badlands other than, well, Golden Lands, which you assume is probably sand. Something that you've heard.
Okay.
That once you're past the Badlands, you'll encounter nothing but sand, and for miles and miles. So you decide to come here. Where, in Oakengard, when you walk in to Oakengard, you see that this place is filled with all sorts of humans. The major populace there is definitely human, but it has other races there as well, the other most prominent being some Dragonborn. I guess my question is, did you, by any chance, tell anyone else, about your plans?
I mean, did I tell my family?
Did you tell your family? Did you tell a friend of yours? Did you want to meet up with someone that you knew?
Nope.
No? Okay.
On her own.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really pop into her head to tell anyone else, to be perfectly honest. It's like, oh, okay, let's go on this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And going.
I think in this point, where would you like to go in Oakengard? There isn't really a whole lot here. There's a market. There's, of course, an inn. Maybe, like, a couple of taverns. There's the house of the person who's in charge here, which is, like, the biggest point. A church. And a lot of guard stations. Some of them looking towards the Badlands, but looking very lax. As I say again, as of late, nothing has really emerged from the Badlands that have really called them up to arms. So a lot of the new blood, a lot of the new guards are like, you know, fuffing about, shooting the shit, playing some cards. And sometimes, like, if, like, you know, the person in charge, like, comes by, they'll probably straighten up. But other than that, not really being all that vigilant towards the Badlands. They are, however, more vigilant towards, like, towards the Craglands, which is where the Dragonborn are, and towards, the mountain ranges, which is where the Goliaths are, because those are, you're more likely to encounter bandits and hooligans from those sides than you are from the Badlands, because, come on, what comes up from the Badlands anymore? Where would you like to go?
Knowing Hurik, she would most likely go to the church in order to study its symbols.
The church?
I'm going to observe.
Okay. Alright. You go to the church, and you see a couple of old symbols. You see that it has, like, a couple of pews. It's a very modest church. It's not extravagant like you would see in Hyperion City. And Hyperion City has multiple little shrines dedicated to the different gods. You see the god that is here is, let me just go into my deities. Okay. You see, Strife question
Yeah.
when it comes to the gods here.
Mm-hmm.
Are they mostly homebrewed gods, or are they like actual like gods like Lothan and stuff?
There's actual gods and everything.
Okay, so would you say that Paylor is there? Exists in this world?
Let me check what's that. Let me check what that one is again.
Isn't he like the god of healing? Pelor, Pelor.
Goddess Sun and Summer, Keeper of Time. That's 408. Yeah, Goddess Sun and Summer. Okay, Keeper of Time.
You see that?
Yeah, that one
You
exists.
see that this church here is dedicated to Paylor, like most human settlements. Paylor tends to be the most popular, as the sun gives crops, and humans are very successful in growing crops, as they have very rich soil and they give thanks to Paylor. And that's what you see.
And she just walks around.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Hmm?
Can go next.
Okay. You're just walking around in the church. Alright. Perfectly fine. Well, who shall go next? Who's feeling brave? Either Strife or Boo? Well, I shall go with Strife. Sound good?
Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of was in the chat.
Oh, he was a bit in the
Oh, I
chat.
didn't
His...
see in the chat. I was somewhere else. You know what?
Somewhere
No.
far away.
No, I was in the character sheets. I was looking at stuff there. I didn't see the chat. Okay. You know what? I'll leave Strife and we're just gonna go to you, Miss Lenara. You were
Shit, I should have been quiet.
Yeah,
Run away.
yeah, you should have been quiet. Now my attention's on you.
She's like a T-Rex. If you don't move, she can't see you.
Okay. So, you arrive in Oakengard. For what purpose?
Probably just traveling, collecting information, doing standard bard thing.
Is there anything that you're looking for in particular interest here in Oakengard?
New exotic delicacies, other things. Mostly because it's so close to the Badlands, it might have something new.
Well, you would be correct in that assumption. There are a couple of things here that is only accessible in the Badlands for those who wish to go into it. So I assume that you're probably looking in the market?
Either in the market or in the inn playing my instrument.
Which one would you prefer more? Which one would Lenara be more interested in? Would she be more interested in the items? Or possible spices?
Inn.
Okay, the inn. Okay.
Inn, because you might meet different people, and it's a good source of information.
Okay. Very nice. I like it. You arrive at the inn. It's a modest looking inn. Not the most expensive that you can tell, but good enough. It even has a piano to the side. So, given that, most likely this is a place where most bards might step in, maybe the owners play something themselves. As you step inside this establishment, you see an older woman, middle-aged. She takes notice of you right away, and she goes, "Well, howdy there. How may I help you?"
I was wondering on the stereotypical Southern accent, but okay.
Well, I mean, this is pretty south.
Yeah, it's south.
So is London.
You want to hear me do a British accent?
No.
That's the better question. Let me do the accents I know that I can do well.
Danenerro would pause for a moment before just softly asking, "May I play here?"
Why, of course. Is that your instrument right there? And she takes a look at your hurdy-gurdy.
Danenerro would nod.
You know, it's been a long time since I've heard anyone play one of those. Please be my guest. Oh, what charge do you do? What's the rate? I'm willing to go up. Maybe. She looks around and she goes, I could pay you 1 gold a song.
Danenerro just shakes her head and goes, "No, it's fine."
All right then.
I just might like food and a rest every now and again.
Well, we can certainly offer that to you. We do have some rooms available. Since it looks like that you're by yourself, we can give you one of the solo rooms.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
No problem, sugar. And she calls to the back, and she goes, Henry! Cook up a special! We got someone playing for us! And as you see...
I feel like I'm about to be drugged and knocked unconscious.
Oh, no. They're just very friendly.
Very friendly.
Yep. You hear and smell different things being cooked. You smell something sizzling. What do you do while this is happening?
Danenerro would go into the corner near the piano, assuming that's where this room's best acoustics are, and start playing.
Mm-hmm. Now, as you're playing, what would you like to play? Is there a particular mood that you're trying to set?
Not really, just generic. Hurdy-gurdy's always got a little bit of a haunting tone to it, though.
So generic haunting music.
Okay.
That was loud.
Alright. You sit down.
Jesus,
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
Dane, what the hell? You're quiet most days, and today it's like...
Sorry, I had my mic setting up to max on my professional microphone because my headset mic decided to crap out. It no longer works to catch my voice. So I have to use my Samsung G-Track Pro for capturing it.
Let's turn you down a bit.
To be honest, I have it away from my voice, so I'm not up close to it.
Alright. As you start to play, we're going to move on to our next player here. Hello there, Strife.
Oh no.
So, Strife, you
Yay.
arrive in Okengard. To what is the purpose of your visit?
As I look at his background stuff, just double check. He's traveling right now because he's heard rumor that there's other places around here that actually have more information on like dwarves and everything of old, essentially, versus just what's in the Dragonborn lands. So this is sort of like an intermediate stop before moving on, essentially.
Right. It is a good rest stop between most places.
He's trying to figure out which one will be best to go towards next, essentially. He's thinking more towards the north, but he's unsure, so also just a bit of like asking around a bit and stuff like that, since this is a bit of a more diverse place than most of the other areas around here, so.
Right. No, I totally get you. Okay, so, dear Azura, or Azure.
Azure.
Right, you're not Azura. Okay, that's a girl's name.
It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's fine.
definitely not Azula. Anyway.
Oh my god, Mocha.
Sorry. I tried to.
I know.
I tried to.
I know.
So, as you enter into Okengard, you see what I have described before, but I'll describe it again for the sake of brevity. You see
you.
a manor house it's probably where the leader of this town, of this fortress, has. You see different guard posts, particularly the ones near the Badlands, being the most lax. You see a church. You see a tavern and an inn. And you see a small marketplace. And there's probably other places too, but you're guessing that they're more residential. If more public spaces is definitely like.
Yeah.
It looks like
naturally limited.
It looks like even the manor house might be even mixed in to be like a courthouse at the same time. Like.
Okay.
Like the courthouse is near the front and the manor's in the back. So it's just like, so I guess the guy who's in charge isn't too far from his job.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you smell nice smells of cooked duck. With spices that you've never smelled before in your life. At this current moment. You smell like... And there's certain things that you do recognize, other things that you don't. And you have heard that near the Badlands, for those who are willing to traverse the dangerous lands, you can find interesting things there. Be it material, or even culinary.
Okay.
Where do you go first?
Yes. He sort of just looks around and just like in his head he's like, okay. The manor seems like it could be a good place, but I don't know if I want to intrude on the person I'm not for. It may be too important. I don't want to bother on issues. Tavern may be good. There's a lot of people who travel, but if I don't know what to talk about, with a different language, how do I speak, how to interact? No. Inn. I don't want to bother them if I'm not gonna stay there, but I really don't want to go to other places. I think I'll go to the inn.
Sounds good, mate. Says a man who was standing right next to you as you were having a panic attack.
As he
eating like a
jumps.
burrito.
As he jumps from that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's alright.
I didn't mean to, Oh, Christ, so good. I didn't mean to, disturb you there. Well, yeah, go to the end.
Thanks, I'll do that now. Hi, runs.
As he, like, runs, like, the guy who's, like, chewing on his, like, strange burrito. I'm calling it a burrito so you guys know, but you have no idea what the fuck it is, because you've never seen anything like it. All you know is it looks to be thin bread with sauce coming out of it, along with, like, little grains of white and meat.
Okay.
Yeah. Along with probably, like, a couple pieces of lettuce, but I don't know if you like lettuce. Do you like lettuce?
Yes.
Anyway, you run to the inn. And I'm going to ask, as you're doing this at this time, is Hurik still in the church, or is she making her way out right now?
No, she's just walking around at the moment.
Walking around where?
No particular direction.
Oh, God.
Yes, but is she in
While she's reading the,
Okay, so she's still in the church. Okay. You're just walking around.
she's more just walking around the garden.
Oh, okay.
Section. Yeah.
Alright. Oh,
She has no particular direction.
Okay. Oh, apparently this church now has a garden. I'll go with it. So, it's alright. I go with whatever you guys say. So, Azure, you run into the inn and you walk in on a hurdy-gurdy being played, and Boo has already provided, like, a soundtrack for that, so if you want to click on the link and listen to it, that's exactly what it sounds like as you
Put it
enter
in the background.
Yeah, because I didn't have time to put it in game. Maybe next time. Anyway. So, as you run in, you see a middle-aged woman. She is currently looks to be tending some tables, and there is a drink next to a very beautiful human playing this interesting instrument. And I'll let Boo describe her more.
Runs away.
Yeah.
Redhead with some light freckles, but not actually as many as one would expect for a redhead.
Okay.
Bright green emerald eyes, and she's probably wearing a standard garb for the area, but even with that, she does look a little bit off with the hair and the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But at the moment, she's sort of more focused on the instrument than anything else going on around her, or at least seemingly.
How did you enter into the inn?
I would have stopped running right before the door because just sort of like brushed himself off a bit, like making himself a little bit more presentable after that.
I'm sorry, I
Taking
just
a
have the
deep
image
breath.
of him trying to run in, running smack into the door, because it's a pull door, stopping, dusting himself off, and then opening the door.
You know what? That's
I mean, I'll
exactly.
roll for it if that happens.
No,
Let me see
roll for
quick.
it. See what happens. If you roll low, it happens.
Under. Oh yeah, if 10 or under, it happened. 11 or above didn't happen. It happened. He tried putting on the brakes,
So,
but did it a bit too late. Thankfully, the door held and only hit it instead of going inside, so he didn't crash onto the floor.
so
Bit dazed, there's spent a few seconds to recover. Again, brushed himself off a bit, like straightened up his clothes after that. Never stick there to see you saw that. Take a deep breath in before pulling open the door and entering very shyly as he's trying not to make any eye contact at this point because of that. Yeah.
all right. So, Lenara, as you, I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, Lenara, as you're like playing your hurdy-gurdy, you hear a giant thunk against the door.
Just the image of everything stopping in the tavern for a split moment, looking at the door, going, no one's attacking, carry on.
So, you see this very skittish. Because in that moment, you kind of did get distracted from the bang. And then Azure walks in. You see a blue skittish Dragonborn, and I'll let Strife describe more of what he looks like right now.
Okay. As per Dragonborn, he is fairly tall in height, despite him seeming to shrink in on himself. He's about 6'8" in height. He has very bright orange eyes in contrast to his medium to lighter blue scales, as it does vary depending which part of him you're looking at. Despite his size and everything, as you can see just by his posture and everything, he is very clearly uncomfortable with everything around here. Wearing well, I'll say like a superior looking cloak to him and some special seeming gloves, given he's not wearing too much otherwise than that, besides simple coverings, essentially. Adorning a golden necklace across him and a simple pair of pants, but not really wearing a shirt or anything. You do notice that bridged up essentially on his head, there are a pair of let me see how to describe it. A pair of goggles there. And he has his own little satchel bag to his hip. As he goes into the room, he's sort of just like shuffling a bit, almost scared to make sound or draw any attention to himself. But that's about it. Oh, and the last detail is he is wearing slippers. Not shoes, slippers.
All right.
Is he also wearing socks?
Yes.
Read.
No.
Silver. If you're doing something, please mute yourself. Thank you. So, as you, I guess, what I have to ask, Ghost, does Azure give a sense of, like, he's a skittish fellow, yes, but is he a sense of, like, I'm new? Has he ever traveled out here before?
No, never.
Linara, you smell new blood. With a possible hint of innocence.
What was the state of your clothes in again?
Oh, the state of my clothes?
Yes.
They're all actually in very good condition.
Any dirt or anything like that on them?
Oh, there's a bit because you had to travel. But actually,
There
let me
is
see.
not anymore.
Thanks.
How do
Actually.
you cast this spell on him? Do you make it a giant show, or do you just do a subtle gesture?
She just sort of works it into the current song.
Okay, alright. She does, and Azure, you could have sworn that you were dustier.
He sort of stares at himself confused.
Well, hey there, honey. You look a bit shook. Can I get you anything?
As
I'll just.
he hears his.
Oh,
Sorry.
No.
What?
Go ahead. I was going to describe what she
Okay.
looked like again.
Gotcha.
But go ahead.
As his attention's called, it does again star him because he just got distracted by his own appearance of what happened that he wasn't quite sure of. But sort of just like, how do you say it? Sort of like freezes a moment this time, before his eyes slowly go to the source. Bit of hesitation there before he just nods slightly. Hi, I'm trying to trying to ask around for some information. I've new to this area at least.
Well, you do look as fresh as a fawn right now. Come on. Take a seat. Take a seat. Just.
Thank you.
I could tell. Gather your nerves. It's going to be all right. And she. This is a very motherly type of feeling that you're getting from this person.
Okay.
And it was like the same feeling that you got as well, Linara. That this human is a very caring individual. As she has you take a seat, and she goes, now, questions first. Do you have money?
Yes.
Alright. Would you like something to drink?
Please.
Alright. We got quite an array here. We got some plain old mead. Honey mead. We got apple cider. We have something called lavender soda, which recently came from Lavender Town. It was interesting. And we do have some orange juice. Of course, we do have
Just out of character for him.
Yeah.
Out of character for Mocha.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the thing he'd asked for is orange juice. I'm not even kidding. Just that was one out of character thing. I was thinking in my head I was gonna ask that. Oh my god.
We have something that specifically comes from the Badlands. It is called blood orange juice, given the redness of the fruit. but it is orange juice. And of course, we have an array of other alcoholic beverages. You know, you name it, we probably make it.
As he is nodding slightly, but his eyes very much seem unfocused as he has a hand on his chin. As in his head, he's going through the scenarios of things, trying new, trying old. Do I risk it? Do I not risk it? Do I die from it? Am I gonna live? Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? Am I gonna worth my money? Is it not worth the money? Before eventually taking a deep breath and deciding blood orange juice.
Blood orange juice coming right up. And she goes, that will be, given how hard it is to get, that will be 1 silver, please.
Sure. So check conversion silver to gold again, which I think it's 10 silver, 1 gold, right? Yeah. He will give her 1 silver.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And she goes and she comes right back, and you see a tall glass of blood orange juice. And it smells like oranges, but the pigment is definitely redder than you've ever seen orange juice before.
As he'll thank you for the drink before not having seen this type of thing before, he's first gonna study it a bit. So I'm just like smelling how it is, putting the cup, it's cold, it's warm, etc.
Okay. Alright.
Lightly, just putting his tongue in to test it a bit before actually starting to drink it. Just thoroughly analyzing essentially before he drinks it.
Okay. So, as you drink it, it's definitely orange juice. Have you ever had blood orange juice before?
I don't think so, honestly.
Honestly, it tastes like oranges if it's not like a little bit more tart than it is sweet.
Ah, okay.
Gotcha. There's sweetness there, but like,
yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's a nice tartness. Anyway, I'm gonna go over to Hurik because I've left her in the church for a bit, and I see that she's walking around the guard while reading the letter. So it's at this moment.
Well, where's Ed?
Did Ed disappear? Where'd you go?
I'm still here.
Okay. Whew. All right.
I need her character.
Oh, I'm still with the party you haven't met yet.
Yeah.
With Dane.
Yeah. This.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have not entered.
See,
I do have to go in house now.
See, you guys are from the north. The party that I was interacting with, you're originally from this land. The people who are coming in, Ed and Dane, they're coming from the very south. They are actually crossing the Badlands right now. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go over to you.
I wasn't sure if they were being skipped or what.
No. I just wanted to establish you guys first. See if you guys wanted to interact with one another before, like, introducing the others. I just wanted you guys to have a reason to be there. I didn't want to just drop you all of a sudden and be like, here.
Which is good to happen.
Wow, Mocha, call me out there.
Dane, why are you so close to the mic, by the way?
Sorry, where's the habit?
Hurik is just, while she's walking, she is reading the letter that was given to her, telling her who she was supposed to meet in order to establish the anthropological exploration of the.
Yeah. So you read over the letter again, and the gist of the letter is we are now traveling. I am not sure when we will arrive, but I know that we must be close, as we are reaching the lands filled with fire and rock and all things monstrous, which you can conclude as the Badlands. So they're just they're just entering into the Badlands from the last time that you had this letter, and make me I guess, like, a history check if you want more information on the Badlands, or at least things that you've heard.
History. Oh, good. Get back over here. Skills. History.
Okay.
Cool.
The Badlands, they didn't get their name for nothing. Most people who enter in don't come out, if at all. Not all of the Badlands is explored. Very few is. You've only heard rumors of possible, like, buildings built there that some people have seen. You have heard of untold riches that could be there. But overall, most people coming out of the Badlands are far and few in between. Not a lot is written about it, but you know that this journey that your pen pal Georgie is taking, you start to wonder if he is even able to survive. And with that thought, you read the last part of the letter, where it says, hoping to see you soon. And once we get there, I hope to at least eat at an inn. I am sick of this traveling food. And that's what you...
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Oh dear God. Do I have to roll since she's not really paying attention? Making sure she doesn't run into anyone.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll your perception.
Oh god, are we going to have another one walk into the door?
I hope not!
Is that just going to be how people get into the tavern? They walk into the door?
You walk into a bar.
Alright.
Oh
Oh
God!
dear God!
You are not paying attention at all. That, like, as you're, like, walking around, like, you see some kids, like, you don't see, but some kids are, like, making, like, a mud castle. Like, going, like, yeah! And you walk through it, and they're like, oh!
Hurik walked into a bar. The bar said out.
And you're like, the inn. Maybe I should stay there. And then you crash into the door. And land on your butt.
The music goes silent again.
Oh, do not read while walking.
At the crash of Azure and Lenora, you hear a crash on the door, a small as the lady of the bar is going like, what in tarnation? Should I turn this into a push door? and walks over to open up to see what's happened. She goes, now you kids better be not playing ball on my door.
Lily stands up.
Are you alright, man?
Ow. Yeah, I was just reading while walking.
Well, don't do
It
that.
happens all the time.
Don't do that. You're gonna crash into things. I like a sound. Well, you're here.
Seems.
Well, you're here. Do you, can I help you with anything?
So I'm looking for the inn.
Well, this is it.
Oh,
Hey,
awesome.
hey, come on right in. Take a seat at the bar if you want. And I will let you, Silver, describe what you look like to the others.
What you see is a petite a woman of middle age.
Mhm.
Her ears in particular are the first thing to be noticed as slightly pointed. Although she appears otherwise fairly human, with long and dark chestnut hair, and fair of skin. Her eyes, as she looks around, can be described as a sky blue. And her clothing is fairly average for traveling clothes. Although her weapons, not so much, as she has both a mace, a light crossbow on her person, as well as a backpack.
Right. So, as Hurik enters in and you see her, she definitely has like a red spot on her forehead. Possibly from crashing into the door. You see that she's holding a letter that she's probably neatly folded away, I guess. Hurik, where would you like to sit?
She takes a seat at the bar.
Okay. Do you sit next to Azure?
If she does, she doesn't notice.
Okay. Azure, a really pretty half-elf is sitting next to you. Anyway,
Thank you.
what exactly are you using for the prestidigitation? Are you removing the mark from her forehead?
Yes, and clothes.
Okay, alright. Hurik, as you sit down, you notice that you're cleaner than you were before. So, Hurik, as you sit down, you're sitting next to a blue Dragonborn who seems to have a tall glass of this reddish-orange juice. Azure, what do you do when Hurik sits next to you?
As this new person sits next to him, he at first tries to just turn ever so slightly so he's not directly facing them, trying to just be lost in just studying the drink, or appearing to at least. As he wonders why he's next to him is freaking bored, but he upon hearing someone asking him something, he pretends like he doesn't hear it at first, to try to avoid anything. So it depends if she tries to get his attention more or not.
Okay. I guess my question
He
is...
lightly taps him.
Okay, okay.
As a shiver goes down him, because he was hoping that was going to happen before his eyes slowly go to her. Yes?
So you're drinking?
This is just, brain, blood, orange juice. That's it.
Oh. By the way, what's your name?
Nice to meet you. I'm, Azure Scalus.
Good to meet you.
Okay. Alright. I don't know, are you guys gonna continue, or shall I now introduce Group B?
Save me.
Lenara...
As Hurik did order the blood orange juice before
Lenara,
she...
this awkwardness is not lost on you. As you see two wee baby adventurers try to talk to one another.
Lenara is trying not to giggle to herself as she carries on playing. Probably mixing in dancing lights so they dance around the room.
Ooh. Some of the patrons there, including the person tending bar, goes, "Oh, she real talented, ain't she?" And she refers to you, Hurik and Azure, as she points to Lenara doing her performance.
Hey,
Yes, good. It's very, very nice.
wait, your skills are very pretty.
He just freezes.
Need to be
Oh,
so
it's just
stiff.
frozen. Done. Fine. Just fine. I'm fine.
You're stiffer than an erection.
What? I'm sorry, did I mishear
As he
you?
falls out of his seat, he literally falls out
Lenara
of his seat
pauses
from
for a
that.
moment as she hears that, looks up, starts laughing, then currently playing.
Azure literally falls out of his seat from that.
Well, ma'am, his blood orange juice is a specialty here in this town. And as laughter begins to erupt from the awkwardness that was that conversation, now becoming a little bit more smoother, you hear commotion outside all of a sudden. As now I'm gonna move over to Group B.
Finally.
Okay.
Uh,
Alright. So, Group B. That involves our dear friends Aegis and Bird, along with
Yeah.
you traveled the Badlands along with 3 other people with you, and the journey has been rough. I am talking that they were no joke, the Badlands. You can't count how many times you've almost died, how many creatures you've seen, and the
And how many dead
companions,
we've had to bury.
and how many dead you've had to bury. That's exactly correct, because you guys were once out of 20, and now you are only 5.
5. Ugh.
Be it
And a goat.
Yep, and a goat.
It's quite shocking the fact that there's not much water out here.
I didn't hear that, Dane.
It's quite shocking that there's not much water out here. I was expecting to be nothing but sea past the Badlands.
Oh, I'm gonna move you guys over here so we all see each other. So, as you start walking on more towards the Badlands, the leader of your expedition, known as Georgie, looks to you and sees that you guys are a bit disheartened, and he goes, "Well, cheer up, lads. Everything's going to be a-okay. We've made it this far, and look, I can see greenery yonder hill." And you do see that Georgie is correct. Green is coming into your view after seeing nothing but dark rock, rotting trees, evil trees,
And
mine,
sand. So much
and
sand.
sand, and not much water, except for like those bubbling pools, which you learned was spring water, and but not the kind of spring water that you should be drinking.
Yeah, that was pretty toxic.
Yeah, the toxic kind.
Had to pull Bird away from sipping on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
At the very least, we're almost at the next town.
Oh,
Is that where you'll meet your contact, Georgie?
oh yes. Or at least she should be there. It's been a while since I've sent her a message. But I hope she's there. I hope I haven't been having her wait for too long.
Okay.
But
Maybe better.
lads and ladies, as he refers to the woman in the doctor's mask known as Alice. We are the first to travel through the Badlands successfully.
Indeed.
I want you all to remember that. We've all made history, and we will not forget the people who we've left, who we had to leave behind, who couldn't join us.
Hopefully, at the very least, we did do one thing right. And that was as morbid as it sounds, we left markers for our way back. For a safer trip, at least.
Here's hoping that those
Yeah.
markers are still there.
If they aren't there, I will destroy whatever messed with it. To ruin one's connection with death, or to defile it, is to defy me itself
Aegis,
and my church.
you're very creepy, Aegis, but I appreciate you.
I simply wish to learn more about people's dying habits.
Creepy Aegis.
And it's quite interesting to learn more about these dwarven things. It interests me on how they buried their dead, or how they honored them.
I know, so
Creepy.
exciting.
But we must make haste. If we keep taking too long, we'll run out of resources. Yeah! As he'll mush his horse.
Yep.
Okay.
So, as you guys are running towards the green, I guess I want to take this moment to step back and ask, which one of you would like to go first on why you embarked on this journey?
I believe Aegis shall go first.
All right.
Aegis, as he is now riding quickly on his horse, remembers when he was originally hired by Georgie, Madame LSD, and whatnot. And it was more or less his connection to the church back then. He always helped those who were putting the dead to the rest, and considering the fact that they had to make a dangerous trip across the Badlands, he wanted to be the one to help put these people to rest, considering the fact of how dangerous it was. But, upon learning the fact that there were other, more interesting, rumors about how the dead were treated in the northern part, past the Badlands, he became intrigued to become more devoted to following Georgie in his work. The thought of it excites him as he wishes to learn more about death and other culture. All for the sake of his god, Anubis.
All right.
That, and he wonders how the coffee would taste up north, too.
So, now we're going to go over to Bird.
Bird met Georgie at a ruin, and he found Bird pecking over, sometimes literally, over like shiny bits of rubble and like salvaged items that he had unearthed, and had been impressed by just the sheer amount that he'd uncovered with like his bare hands. And then he showed some dwarven coinage and carvings and what little artifacts Georgie had already found and heard rumor of, and suggested that if Bird wanted to come with him, he would also get to see the shinies and possibly have some. And Bird was kind of bored and had said, "Can bring goat?" And Georgie had said, "Sure." And Bird had gone and fetched his goat. And said, "We go with."
Alright. So, you guys have been traveling and you finally reached to the green. And as you reach the green, Georgie, in a very overdramatic manner, goes, "Oh, sweetness, we've reached the green!" And he lands on it like someone who hasn't seen water in days and kind of just like rolls over like all like the green grass.
Aegis will rein his horse in order to stop running ahead.
uh,
Georgie, we've only just reached it.
yeah. But we're here. Why aren't you more excited? We're here. We're the first of the very south to ever reach here to the very tip of the north. Well, not the exact tip, but even just entering its soil.
I mean, I'm excited in my own way, but I'm also quite disappointed in my own way.
Disappointed.
Okay.
I was expecting nothing but sea.
Near
Nice.
a very tall, like, copper-skinned, half-elf, comes in on his camel, at his own pace, and he goes, "Georgie, you should know that not everyone's gonna share your enthusiasm."
Creepy
Thank-
Aegis.
Thank you, Mr. Nair.
Well, time to see where's the next town of this north. And as you guys...
May I roll perception?
Sure. As you do that, the madam, flies forward, in her, vulture form, and simply...
Why did you roll twice?
Perception is an 18. Do I see the town?
You're a bit far from the town, but you do see something in the distance, but you're not sure if it is.
I'll actually roll then to see.
Yep.
Yeah, I already fixed it afterwards, Strife. I just find it weird.
Yep.
Town. And then he points with his, like, feathery arms.
Well, let's make our way there. And you guys pretty much go non-stop until you finally reach the gates of the town.
Aegis will keep his hat tilted down to hide his crimson eyes.
Yep. Alright. As you reach it, you notice that it has a giant fort. It's basically like a giant fort, and you see a couple of buildings inside, and a couple of guards are there, but they don't seem to be paying attention. And Georgie's like, "Well, I guess we just walk in." And Georgie just, well, walks in. And he walks in such a fabulous display. For Georgie has an interesting way of entering into a room. And now, we're gonna... I'm just gonna leave that, I'll build up on it as, those who are interested in the commotion that is happening outside can now take the chance to come out and see what's going on. everyone in the inn is curious about the hustle and bustle, and you immediately go outside to see what's causing it. Even the innkeeper goes to check it out.
Saw a commotion note here.
Okay. As you come out, and is Azure also curious?
Yes.
All right. So, what you see before you? And I can't wait to read this.
Oh god. The music
Oh,
change.
no.
Oh no. Oh no.
You see a short man climbing on top of one of these two giant birds, which honk in discomfort, turning around and pecking at his head. He goes, now Savannah, not you two, Dune, you're making me look bad. Ahem! Hello there! I must ask for your attention. I am Georgie Lade, explorer, researcher, polo player. The last one isn't important, but I am for the game. I come asking for aid. We are looking for... And he takes out a piece of paper and he goes, we are looking for a friend of mine, a pen pal of mine, by the name of Hurik. Does anyone know who that is?
And she doesn't even hesitate. She goes up and hugs him.
There you are, Hurik! And you see that this man was driving in a small cart driven by two giant birds that were black and white. And look around with these giant eyeballs, just
She picks him up and hugs him.
Yep. The man that you hug is Georgie Lake. Georgie is a small man with a handlebar mustache, with wearing an explorer's garb, with a red and white scarf. That, and very sun-kissed skin, brown eyes, and well-kept
Mocha.
brown hair.
Wait, Mocha, don't you actually have a picture of him?
I do. I just want to describe this first. Alright?
Come on, Dane.
Yeah.
Come on.
He is very human-like, with the exception of his size being smaller. Almost childlike if it weren't for the mustache. And he wears no shoes. In fact, his shoes are rather big. In fact, his feet are rather big and a bit hairy. And I'm going to get out his picture. There he is.
Ah, yes.
Georgie.
Look at that.
There's Georgie.
Georgie. His big ass feet.
Yep.
Look at how fabulous he is.
Yep. He's like, Hurik, it is so great to meet you. Here are my friends. And he strikes a very dramatic pose as he points to his friend, and you see another half-elf emerges riding a strange-looking cow with humps. And
My humps don't lie.
yeah, and you also see a bird suddenly land down. A vulture, from what you can see, and it's just there hanging out. And there with them, and I'll explain what this other guy looks like. This other guy, this half elf, has copper brown skin, bright blonde hair, wears an interesting rough and worn looking outfit, and seems pretty lax compared to Georgie. Quite disheveled, though, and he wears one emerald earring and has golden eyes. Around his neck, there is a black snake with green undertones resting on his shoulders as well. And he seems to be, like, just nonchalantly, like, reading a book before, like, going like, hey, you're Hurik. I'm ne'er-do-well.
Nice to meet you.
And this is what he looks like. That's him.
He's so fabulous.
Yep. You get the sense of someone very lax next to him. And he goes, oh yeah, and that's the madam, and he points over to the vulture. And he goes,
Oh?
yeah, she turns into birds. Sometimes. Where's an inn? Or a tavern? I am starved.
Came out of one. It's right there.
And he looks to the people who are just looking around, and the guards are like baffled because they're like, where the heck did these people come from? What are these animals? And then like some people are like, I think they came from the Badlands, and they're like, what? No one comes from the Badlands, right? And
Your journey.
And you hear whispers of like, did they come from the Badlands? Like, who are these people? And then it's at this point you guys notice the companions that they have behind them. You see Aegis. I'm not sure if I had you describe what Aegis looked like yet, Dane. Did I? I did?
You have not.
I have not. So this is the point where you can describe what he looks like.
So, sitting on top of this speckled horse is a predominantly black-clothed man with pretty much like not wrinkled but slightly weathered skin, with a very wide hat. I don't know what the hat's called.
We'll call it a straw hat.
Yeah, straw hat. A very white straw hat that's currently covering his eyes. But aside from his hidden eyes, his face does represent that of a rather aged man. Skin, more or less, almost charcoal in color. Upon his back, I am a bit of a grandpa, yes. Upon his back, he holds what appears to be a very artistic stick and a shield.
Alright. And now
I see.
Oh, go ahead.
See that these are the locals. Great.
Yep. You go over and now we're gonna ask. I'm now gonna ask for Bird to describe himself.
What you see when you look at Bird is, well, it looks like just a really big crow, except the wings are kind of weirdly shaped, like skinny, too skinny for wings. In fact, you say it's probably, oh, those are arms? Oh yeah, I can see fingers. I thought those were feathers. What is that? But whatever it is, it's got a long beak and beady black eyes and sort of short, baggy pants with bulging pockets of who knows what, and daggers at its waist. And you see the bird thing is holding a rope leading to what appears to be a rather scraggly goat.
Oh.
And the bird cocks his head and says, I am Bird.
It's at this point that Georgie gets up on his birds again, and he goes like, alright, dear Hurik, it's time to start on our expedition. We will rest first, but we need to find others to, embark on this dangerous journey. He looks to the people, and he goes, I come asking for aid. We are looking for seekers of knowledge or people who want to make some easy coin. We just need some bodyguards to help us journey across this strange land to find the Dwarven ruins of... And he looks down at his paper. Of Jondarock. Will you help us? He asked and poses a very dramatic pose. There's silence as Savannah, the giant bird, hawks. The half-elf then emerges, riding his strange-looking cow, and he goes, "There's money in it for you if you're interested. We'll take 2 people and no more."
This is rather sudden.
Like Lil Nara's already agreed.
As Lenora, as you agreed, right?
For the
we're talking. Did you sign the vocal contract?
Yes.
Okay, Georgie looks to you, looking very excited, as he hops over. And weirdly enough, as he gets closer to you, the feet and, like, even though, like, he's been traveling, he's very clean. Like, he takes very good care of himself. He doesn't even smell.
I prestidigitation, just in case anyway.
Okay. You prestidigitation him just in case, and he's like, "Woo! Spells." And he goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am." And he does like a small, like, little bow to you. And he goes,
I get the feeling there was a moment of one going for a handshake, one bowing, then swapping, and then just looking at each other confused for a moment, like,
yeah, that's exactly what happens. And he goes, I would love to work with you. What is your name, ma'am?"
Lenara.
"Lenara. Good to meet you. I am Georgie Lade, and these are my companions. We are going off to investigate some Dwarven ruins. How familiar you are of the North?"
I'm from here?
"Good enough!" And he smiles.
The Dwarven ruins are generally further up north, though.
"Well, if that's the case, then further up north we will go. It's our first time here. We came from the very south, the desert lands."
I see.
Do you want to roll a history to see if in your bardic travels,
Sure.
what have you heard about the desert lands?
That would be in skills. That one.
Oh, God.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. The most that you know is that it is filled with a lot of sand. And not much else. You didn't even know that people could even live there. So the fact that someone says that they came from there and looks like they might have come from a hotter climate, connects some dots.
Let's play some Connect 4, why don't we? I didn't realize my mic was on. Whoops, sorry.
Shake it.
We'll try to go soon.
Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up with this.
Do we have?
And he goes,
I will have. Okay.
well, he goes, one more person should be good.
Did you say Dwarven rats?
And Georgie looks to you with a giant smile on his face and goes, "Why, yes, friend, I did say Dwarven ruins. I am an anthropologist. The madame," and he points to the vulture, goes, "is an archaeologist. And Nerdu studies magic in general."
I've don't know about any of those titles, but I've tried studying dwarven ruins and such as much as I can, at least.
Then you are familiar with the ruins here.
Some of them, yes.
I would love to speak with you, my friend, my blue-scaled friend. What is your name, sir?
Azure Scalis.
Azura. Is it Azura or Azur?
Azure.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, let's speak more business in the inn. I am starved and I am tired of cooking on the road.
Oh, I did have one question.
Yes?
Does the inn serve... Do you think the inn might serve coffee?
I have no idea. I've never been here before. Do they serve coffee? I'm just gonna
Not that I was told, but maybe.
To which I have to ask for, and this is because the DM of the whole world is here. Does coffee even exist up here?
I'm gonna roll a fate roll. Higher, low, good or bad.
It would more likely just appear because of the fact sand doesn't grow coffee.
Hi, bad.
Okay, I got one saying hi, bad. Do you guys agree?
Okay, hi, bad.
Okay. There is no coffee here.
How is there coffee in the sand?
Trade.
Wait,
Trade is even possible.
we can make coffee. We just have to teach them how to make bean soup.
Well, I'm sure we can share some of our knowledge of coffee beans.
How are there coffee beans in the sand?
Boo's broken.
I think you broke Boo.
Hey, guess what, Boo?
Bird.
Hey, Boo, guess what? It's called information that you haven't gotten yet.
How is there coffee in sand?
Well, it's been a hot day. Let's just get into an inn.
Yes, let's do that. And you guys go to the inn with a bunch of dumbfounded looking locals looking at the weird people who came from the south with their weird animals, with the exception of the goat. They know what goats are.
Yeah, the goat.
And my horse.
It's just, and the horse. It's just that, why is there a talking bird? Why is that man so short? And why is the vulture acting like it's part of the group? And I'm going to leave you off with...
And what's coffee?
And what's coffee? And I'm going to leave you off with this. For those of you who are paying attention to the vulture, you see the vulture shapeshift and turn into a woman. And I will bring up her picture.
Woman? Woman?
Here she is.
At least.
Not as tall as Nerdu, but definitely taller than Georgie. She wears a blue dress.
Definitely.
She wears a blue dress and a hat that seems to be adorned with some mushrooms and a mask. No point of her skin is seen, as she quietly walks with your group. And
I assume she doesn't have the knife out.
does not have the knife out. No, that is a way.
I had to check.
It is a way. The knife is not there.
This is going to be an interesting interaction between Hurik and Aegis, though.
Lunara would go back into the tavern and start playing with dancing lights and the music again.
Okay. you guys do that.
Probably being really cheeky and occasionally throwing in prestidigitation to add spells to the song.
So, you go back to the inn and you start playing, and Georgie calls over to you, Lenara, and goes, "Oh, are you doing a job right now? Should we talk about business later, or are you joining us?"
She sort of shrugs and goes, "I can multitask."
Alright, well, let's sit close to Lenara then. And you guys get a table closest to where Lenara is playing. And we are going to end session, I think, right there. Because I know that Ed has to leave, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys enjoy first session?
Very
I enjoyed
much
that.
so.
It was good.